Citronelle. So make sure you let everyone know that lives in Citronelle that there's a possible tornado moving toward their community and that they need to get in shelter. Southern Washington County, you need to be in shelter too. You need to be getting ready for this in case it moves past Citronelle and moves into your area. But the possible tornado is rolling right into Citronelle right now. It started over Gulf Crest and it's been moving in a hurry. It's been moving very quickly and is continuing to move at a very fast pace, moving at, as of right now, 40 miles an hour to the north. So a very fast moving system, and we're continuing to monitor this in real time. Matt's operating the radar. You can certainly see that the signature has not weakened at all. It still looks very well defined where you see that bright white dot near Citronelle. That is where we have the possible tornado as of right now, and that's why we're on the air, and we're going to stay on the air as long as that remains a threat. And it looks like it's certainly going to be one at least for a while. Now, what Matt has done is put up the projected times of arrival based on the current speed and movement. So Citronelle, it's knocking on your doorstep right now. Seaboard, it would be to you at about 11:38. That's assuming it holds together. In Chatham, it would be there near midday. But Chatham, as of now, you are not in the tornado warning polygon. It cuts off just south of Chatham. So here's Chatham, and the tornado warning cuts off south of that. Citronelle, you're the ones that need to be in your safe place. If you live in an apartment, get down to the first floor, knock on your neighbor's door. Celeste Road, US 45. That is the problem spot. That's your possible tornado, and it's going to be rolling right over the busiest part of Citronelle. There's Coy Smith Highway, and that's running up near Citronelle High School. So everyone in this area, get in shelter now. Here's Arthur Ward Jr. Drive, Anvil Road. If you recognize any of these streets, any of these parts of Citronelle, here's Main Street. This is going to be, there's Boy Scout Road. This is something you got to take seriously. We've talked about the flooding threat. We've talked about the tornado threat. And that's the reason why we're on the air, is because of that signature right there that's continuing to lift north and just create a lot of problems for the area. And Matt, we pointed out that this was going to be a potential hazard with the storms today.
Yeah, because we're getting some heating of the day that's allowing a little bit extra instability into some of these lines, and we are seeing some very heavy rains.
And you can see the reason why we've got this is just this huge swath of storms that's moving its way from offshore to onshore, and you got two big bands of heavy rain, one on the east side of our area and the one on the west side of our area. Thankfully, New Orleans has gone dry. Of course, they got hit really hard with Ida yesterday. They're drying out nicely, but the central portion of the Gulf Coast is dealing with light to moderate rain, getting a little bit more of a break in the action. But the storm cells that we're seeing on the eastern edge of the area have been ferocious because they're producing lightning, and unfortunately they've been producing tornado warnings. And we always tell you the east side of a tropical system's the bad side. There is your example right there, and the west side is the good side. Look at west of the center. Nothing. North wind flow, West Louisiana looks good, Texas looks good, Arkansas looks good, and we're dealing with just an absolute mess. Flash flood warnings sparking off everywhere, and now, unfortunately, tornado warnings are a problem, and specifically for southern Connecticut County and parts of Escambia County, Alabama, right around Bruton, who are under the gun with a possible tornado rolling right over the same spot that it did when we were dealing with Tropical Storm Claudette. If you're in Mobile County and you've been getting a break in the rain, a heavy band that is in our Mississippi counties is marching its way to the east. So although you're getting a little reprieve right now, don't get too comfortable. Very heavy rain is going to be marching its way into your area sooner rather than later. And that's the case for anyone across our area. Know that another big band is on the way. So as we continue to monitor the situation with this specific storm, right now it is over Bruton and producing very intense wind and lightning. Let's drag that a little more to the east. So we can get under the Eglin Air Force Base radar. And there you go is the possible tornadic signature right there in East Bruton, where you got these bright colors, this red and the green interlocked, which shows a sign of tight rotation. And that is the correlation coefficient. This is what we look for to see if there's any debris lofted up from the radar. And right in this general area, I mean, it's not a lot, but it's something. So if there is anything on the ground, it's right here between Kirkland and Rock Hill, which is just to the east of US 31. And based on this and based on what we've seen, you know, man, I know we haven't gotten any confirmation of anything on the ground, but that is by far the best signature we've seen of the morning so far.
Yeah, it certainly is. I mean, looking at some other products, trying to pinpoint it, it has a good bit of circulation. It's just
We got what looks like a C on the radar imagery. That is an inflow notch, and that's where you're getting the possible rotation to blow through. The winds are going in there, they're circling around, and right around County Road 20, you got that possible tornado that's moving north and west at about 35 miles per hour. So it's basically on the back edge of this massive cluster of showers and thunderstorms. And this is, I believe, the fourth tornado warning we've seen so far today, and many more could be popping up as we maneuver in throughout the course of the afternoon. So everyone in Baldwin County from Wolf Bay all the way to Daphne needs to be in their safe place. You need to go to that battle plan you have whenever a tornado warning strikes, and we're just going to keep following this this couplet right here that's sitting east of Mifflin, where you got this light blue and that little dark shade of red. Because when you look at these colors, you're looking at in and outbound winds that are connected, and that shows a sign of rotation on the radar. That's how you can spot where these tornado cells are. And we have not had reports of any damage with any tornado warnings so far today, but what we have had is reports of funnel clouds showing up aloft, and we have seen confirmation of that from tornado warnings that were rolling through parts of Biola Battery earlier. And you can see now the couplet's right over Alberta. So anyone in Alberta right now is getting the brunt of where this possible tornado is rolling through. And that's just to the east of the Foley Beach Express and right around this section of US 98. So everyone needs to be in shelter right now, and everyone to the north and west of Alberta needs to be in shelter too, because there's no indication that that particular cell is weakening, at least not yet. It looks like it's going to be lasting for a while as it keeps marching its way toward parts of Summerdale and possibly Foley. If you're just joining us, I'm meteorologist Michael White in the Fox 10 Storm Tracker Weather Center, and we're letting you know about a tornado warning that is covering a huge chunk of Baldwin County. That's extending from Daphne all the way back to parts of Orange Beach and Wolf Bay. And the reason why we're on the air is because this tornado warning just went off at 12:30, so it went off 7 minutes ago. We have not gotten a recent update from the Weather Service office of where this system is, or if the system is weakening or not. The last update was that it was 4 miles south of Alberta at 12:30 and moving to the north and west at 35. Now, we've been able to find it on the velocity display right there around Alberta. I'll circle it again, and it's right here. That's your tight couplet that's marching toward the Foley Beach Express. So everyone in Alberta needs to be in shelter. Everyone that lives near the Foley Beach Expressway, near Foley and up to Summerdale and along State Highway 59, which is right here. We all know that road is heavily trafficked because it goes from Gulf Shores all the way up to Loxley and parts of Interstate 10. Everyone near Foley and Summerdale needs to make sure they're in their safe place right now as we watch this, because this is on the back edge of a huge cluster of rain and storms. So you're dealing with all of that rain, you're dealing with those wind gusts, and then just when you think you're all done with them, at least for now, here comes this signature that's showing rotation, and a possible tornado could be on the ground. No confirmation of that yet, but certainly based on what we're seeing out and back up a bit. Now, watch the signature. See how much brighter the signature was when it moved right over. Follow it right there when it moved over parts of Pine Forest, and then it lifted its way north and west toward Cantonment, and now the brightness has really started to fade with it. But still, it is marching its way northwest, and we still have to stay with it as long as it is a threat to those sections of Escambia County, Florida. So if you're wondering what the latest on Ida is while we're doing this coverage, Ida is a monster Category 4 that's on the verge of becoming a 5. If it gets to 160 miles an hour, it becomes a 5. It's moving northwest at 15 miles an hour. It's still moving quickly, but it looks like it's going to decelerate once it moves over land before it begins to take that turn to the north and then lift to the north and east. It moves toward Baton Rouge late tonight as a Category 1 hurricane, then will be a tropical storm midday tomorrow on the Louisiana-Mississippi line, and then back to a depression by late tomorrow night. One spot that is in a really bad situation is New Orleans, and the reason why is because in New Orleans, it looks like the eye wall is going to move right over that community. And where you see these two timestamps, this is only a 12-hour difference from this afternoon all the way to late tonight. So you think about where we were last September with Hurricane Sally, and Hurricane Sally barely moved. It was moving at about 2-3 miles an hour across Gulf Shores and parts of the Florida Panhandle. That was a strong Category 2. This is going to be a strong 4. And you think about how long it's going to take for it to get from Grand Isle to Baton Rouge, and New Orleans is going to be right near that eye wall, getting hit with triple-digit sustained winds for numerous hours on end before finally seeing things calming down as we head in toward the day tomorrow. So they're going to be in a very bad position. We did get a report that at Pensacola Beach, the winds just
Michael White, I'm broadcasting from home. It is Saturday afternoon and time to talk about the latest regarding Hurricane Ida. I know a lot of you are curious to know how exactly is this hurricane going to impact us on the Gulf Coast? What are our main risks? What can we expect to see? Is it going to be like it is in Louisiana? Right now, it looks like the main threats are going to come from flooding and isolated tornadoes. Flooding being the biggest issue. If you live in a low-lying area or a flood-prone zone, today's the day you need to prepare. You need to make sure you have everything in order because the big bands of rain associated with Ida begin to move in as early as tomorrow morning. So we'll go through some of the maps and graphics, what some of the latest details are, and things you need to know, and things you need to make sure you have before we head into tomorrow and Monday. And if you miss any part of this video, you can always go back and rewatch it right here on my Facebook page. And of course, we're going to have continuous updates on Fox 10. So let's dive in and start talking about things. Here we go. First thing we're going to look at is going to be the current situation out in the Atlantic Basin and in the Gulf of Mexico. August and September are the two most active months of the hurricane season. So this is the time of year when we see the most tropical mischief out there. As we approach Labor Day weekend, this is like the hurricane season Super Bowl. This is when you have the most activity in the Atlantic. Waters are at their warmest, wind shear is at its weakest, and you've got Hurricane Ida down in the Gulf of Mexico. You got Tropical Depression 10 in the Atlantic, and you have two other tropical disturbances out there. One,
it's getting drier to the west of Leakesville. Drier conditions will take over this afternoon, but blustery winds are going to be showing up. Harsh north winds at 15 to 30 miles an hour are going to occur in the second half of the day. Bear in mind, temperatures at school pickup time will be in the mid-40s, wind chill values into the 30s, and we're going to be covered with a blanket of clouds. Notice the temperatures go down as the day progresses. We'll be just under 50 at lunchtime. Then by 3 o'clock, school pickup time, there's your mid-40s, but it will be drier, cloudy, windy, and at 6 o'clock, low 40s with plenty of clouds in the sky. Let's go through the Fox 10 Futurecast. Here's the nasty mess of rain, and then we run forward to the afternoon and evening. It's gone, but it's just going to be cloudy and very cold. Now, there's going to be 2 chances of rain tomorrow. Most of those are going to be along the immediate coast. Now, one question is, could we have any icing problems? Well, over bridges and overpasses, those would be the first to freeze, and west of I-65, you'll have the best chance for that. So if you're traveling late tonight or early tomorrow, keep that in mind. For snow flurries, some may be showing up around parts of Washington and Greene County, but a lot of that's going to be when most of you are sleeping. By the time a lot of you wake up, most of that is going to be gone. A few sleet pellets, though, can't be totally ruled out at dawn on Friday, but most of Friday during the day will be dry, and then you get another chance Friday evening for showers, cold rain, most of that in coastal spots that moves out before we get ready to roll into your weekend. So here's how the next 7 days stack up. The next couple afternoons, just rough with highs in the low 40s. Well, the high today has already occurred. That will be the temperature for the afternoon. For tomorrow, that will be the projected high, and mornings over the weekend, mid to upper 20s, dry for Saturday and Sunday. The warmest day we're going to get over the next 7 days is Tuesday, and that high will still be less than 60 degrees. We will keep you up to date on your weather throughout the day right here on Fox10TV.com and all of our social media channels. Have a good Thursday, stay warm, and stay dry.